G'day everyone, my name is Noah and you're watching Dojo and Farming here on YouTube. If you're new around here, we are a West Australian wheat and sheep farm on the banks of the Moore River. Welcome to June. Today is Monday and we have got T-minus a week to get our crop in. We've got 18.5 mils in the gauge yesterday and another 8.5 mil in the gauge this morning. This brings us up to about 36 mils total so far in 2 consecutive days. Last time you would have seen us do the first test run with the combine and putting the wide points on. Check the last video for extra context. So we've done some test trials with the depth last week since the rain started coming through. I haven't actually done the seed test yet. That's what we're going to be trying to do today. First things first, we've got to get the combine back to the shed, take the closer plates off, and then we're going to move the sheep, which are currently in the front paddocks. We're going to move them to this paddock by the house. As you can see, it's got a bit of green feed growing in here, and I don't want to go and wreck all this lush green feed straight away. We want to try and get the sheep onto this so that they can eat it down before we go and put the crop in. Then we'll take the combine and the tractor into the smaller of the 2 paddocks to do the seed tests. If the seed tests are promising, excellent, we'll keep the combine as it is and be ready to go on Thursday to start seeding the oats. Because the wide points are essentially cultivator shovels. If the seed depth is not that great with these seed boots as they are, then what we can do is just run the combine basically as a cultivator, work the paddocks up so that we get rid of the plough ruts, and then afterwards we'll swap back to the knife points, then put the seed in the ground. How we do these tests is we've got to bring it up to working speed. So that's around about 8 kilometers an hour, and then we drop it into the ground. Like that. Sometimes it likes going into the ground a lot better, other times not so much. Those closer plates are dragging because they're so low, and as a result you can see the wide points are not going into the ground as much. That is the reason why we need to go and take them off at the shed. The tractor's gonna need some fuel too. We have got a little bit of diesel in the tank. I'm only gonna fill the tractor up when we really need to though, and that's when we're ready to go seeding. Because we don't have pre-emerge for the goats, and it kind of does decent job working up anyway with this test strip, we're going to try and work up with the combine first and then swap back to the other points. Right, so it's the afternoon now. We've shut the gates around the yard and opened up the gate into the house paddock to try and get the home mob, which is the 10 rams that came home, the 4 ram lambs, plus the summer lambs, which are going to be for eating, and the little baby that is a couple of weeks old. So we had some of the ewes in here that were prego, but they don't want to move. I've already tried to move them twice today. There they are up there. This is the tricky thing. I want to try and work up the paddock today, if I can, and also do the seed placement test. I want to try and shift the rams today, but I think they're going to be bastards about it, so I don't think we're going to get very far, but we'll try. All looking at the fence line. Some of them are bolting right out the front like that. And yep, that is the reason why I can't get these bloody sheep for the life of me out of this paddock. It's all the ones that stayed home that are running along like that. These gentlemen back here, they're actually just vibing in their own right. Fucking Merinos. Alright, don't say I didn't warn you, sheep. We've got tractor work to do. If they're not going to go out on their own, I'll just leave the gate open for them, and hopefully they'll find the way out themselves. If not, they're just going to be chased around and around the paddock by the tractor and the combine until they have no feed in here left. We've done some trial and error and worked out that the closer plates were the reason why the wide points, wing points, arrow points, whatever you want to call them, we worked out because the closer plates, which came with the knife points last year, they're actually bent back, so they're going lower than the tip of the point. And that's a problem because the closer plates were going into the ground before the actual point were, hence the skimming over the top and not going into the ground very deep. I've taken all but 2 because one of the closer plates has a stripped nut because I couldn't get the rattle gun on there. And the other one I literally cannot take off because it was the experimental one that we did with the seed boot last year. And we've done a couple of test strips. The paddock we're standing in right now was one of 2 paddocks planted as oats for hay last year because it had been compacted and only run by sheep for about 2 years at that point. We decided we were going to work it up the traditional way. Now, there was a problem with that. Amateur tractor driver, I had never driven a plough before. So it made a bunch of ruts and dips and all sorts all over the place because I couldn't stick to the one rule of ploughing, keep that wheel in the furrow. It's not as bad in here, but in the paddock next door, there is a lot of dips and ruts and all sorts, which not only makes it hard for us to move sheep in the summertime when it's all stubble, but it's also difficult to get the combine in here, especially with knife points for seeding. The seed depth was all over the shop, and by extension, when we went to cut it for hay, it was a fun time trying to keep the hay cutter level going along and cutting the swaths. Plan for this afternoon is, we've done some test strips. Now we are going to hook on the hydraulics that run the fan assist, and we're going to bung a little bit of wheat seed into the bin to check the placement of the seed. The results of this will basically give us an idea of what it's going to be like with the boots just dangling all over the place. Some of them have loose bolts, others are very tight and I can't shift it without a hammer. So we're going to find out what it's going to be like. We're going to try this side for these first couple of meter rollers to see what they're like. I haven't got enough seed in the bucket to do the whole lot. Right, so currently the gearbox on the combine is set to C3, so that's 25 kilos a hectare. We've got it on high range, so it's going to do double. That means, if all goes well, those tines over there, they're going to do 50 kilo a hectare. That's going. Right. Good morning and welcome to Thursday. It is go time. We're going to try and get the hay crop in before we get anything else done because of all the dramas and setbacks we've had. I did do a little bit of working up, a little bit of testing with the combine in the front paddock here and the paddock behind, and well, the results were a bit mixed. The combine wasn't going deep enough, and so the furrows were all over the shop. So Dad's taken the tractor for a spin again today.
But the wheat would be, was gonna be, it'd be right down here. That's how far I'm going in.
So that's what?
That's about 4 inches deep.
Good for ripping, not so much for seeding.
There.
There.
There it is.
Okay. So it's down there.
Well that's 3, but that's to the, none in this row at all.
This is the side of the
yeah, look, this has got to be up like this. It's no good like that. That's got to be like that.
Okay, so it needs some adjustments then.
That's going to just blow it straight down the bottom of the fucking hole. That has to come up. That's down. Although with the press wheel it might be okay. I reckon it really needs to be on about 4 on that setting for it to be right. But we'd have to tie that one back.
Yeah.
We've got enough to tie it back with here. So I don't know whether to just fucking rip it up or...
I mean,
Either that or we pull out, fucking tighten all that up, go get the Roundup and spray it all.
What Dad meant by not sure if we mean to rip it up or get some Roundup in. Roundup, for those who don't know, who are outside of farming or are more familiar with Farming Simulator, you'd know this as herbicide. Roundup is what we use for killing all the weeds, which, okay, if we were cropping only, we'd be all spraying this out, chemical it, gone, kill it. But when it comes to pasture and stuff, you've got to be careful about what you spray, because some of the pasture needs to come back for when you graze the sheep on it. What Dad means by ripping it up is some people like to go down the path of full till weed kill, if that makes sense, where they use cultivators or chisel plows that go in right deep and they rip up all the roots of the weeds and flip them over, and it kills them off before you go and seed it. We tried to do that, but wow, the time that we direct seeded it, thinking that it would be no-till weed kill when we did it in June 2023 with the oat seed in pine tree paddock, it didn't work because the air seeder didn't rip all the weeds up. Instead, it just flipped them aside, similar to how these furrows are here, and the weeds grew back and killed all the oats. So we ended up having to use the Roundup. And the reason why we're using the Roundup is so we can guarantee that the weeds will be dead and the seed that we plant will actually grow. That's basically what we call pre-emerge. Now, I'm not against doing full till weed kill, it's just our time frame with our planting window is incredibly short, and when you have to do tillage, you need to be going in the paddock a lot sooner, especially if you're only down to one tractor that has to do the tillage, the seeding and the spraying in one hit. And when we don't have enough rain and we're stuck with late breaks to the season like we are, we can't afford full till weed kill, if that makes sense. The downside in having the seed tubes as they are, as you would have seen, because the fan assist basically is like a mini air blower similar to what we got on an air seeder, it blows the seed down the tube, straight down the hole. Okay, that's all well and good, helps with the seed flow. Without the closer plates there, as I established in the last video, if those seed tubes dangle, it goes blowing through the bottom of the hole and the seed doesn't go in the furrow where you want it to. That's the reason why the seed placement was all over the place, and the reason why I couldn't find it in that paddock there. Welcome to the afternoon. Dad's just bringing the combine back to the paddock, and then we're gonna go fetch the truck because we've got the 5-in-1 bin finally running, and it is time. A couple of things we got to do before we get going: bucket full of stoppers and the measuring tape. Now that we're actually seeding, we got to make sure that the combine is at the correct depth. Depth is very important for seed. If you get it too deep, it comes up late. Not exactly good, especially when the soil deep underneath hasn't exactly sucked in the moisture, when the top has, like you can see here. So making sure that the seed is at the correct depth is ideal for what we want to do. Second of all, we've gone and modified and swapped out some seed tubes because we did have some with holes. The shiny one here is a good example, and another one back there as well. We got those swapped over, went and adjusted some, tied some wire up to keep the show on the road. We're not putting pre-emerge in for the hay crop, so it could be a disaster, could not. It's a 50-50 chance, but we'll find out when we get there. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'll let Dad take the first lap and let's get the show on the road. Despite all the setbacks, seeding 2026 is now underway. And I'm happy to say we can actually see the seed this time, which is good. It's not ideal me driving directly behind the seeder, but the Kubota tyres are basically going to act similar to a ridge marker because, well, it's all going to look the same when we go round and round. But in spite of everything, we're still putting the crop in. Good news! Dad's just given the thumbs up to say that the auto steer is working. The combine is putting seed in. It's questionable in placement, but that is good. Now, the batteries, both of them on the GoPro, are unfortunately going flat. So I think we're gonna leave it here today and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be all good and we'll have the crop in. Good morning and welcome to Friday. Dad's gotten up early this morning. He seems hell-bent on getting the oats finished today. Unfortunately, he beat me to the tractor, so he's gone and taken the hot seat. That's the points out of the ground for the last time for hay crop 26. Right, so it's Friday afternoon now. The crop is in. That is good. Now, we need to do some last minute maintenance to the combine and to the tractor. The tractor's light dial switch, which normally should go click, 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 to turn all the lights on. It wasn't doing that last night. It was broken. So we've gone and gotten a switch from our factory, as well as some bolts and some hydraulic oil that we're going to put in the tractor to run the combine. The combine, as you no doubt can see, is all over the shop. Look at that. That is a very despicable hose right there. That one is going to need to go. These others were flopping and flapping all over the place, and we had to literally tie it up with wire just to keep it going. Well, the hay crop is now in, meaning that the wide points can finally come off, and we've got some replacements sitting in the Hilux. The Gator has got a flat tyre. Dad's going to see to it right now with the Nissan. We've got to prepare the tractor for the long voyage out the West End to go and spray some Roundup, go and put all the knockdown on Clark Road paddock, and then, well, after that we'll need to bring the combine out. Hello and welcome to Sunday. Right, so good news this morning. While I was off over at my off-farm job, Dad managed to figure out how to get the sprayer going. He got that going this morning and he's off out the paddock to go throw the Roundup down on Clark Road, which means this afternoon we have to try and get the 753 out the paddock as quick as possible, along with the Uncle Ken, and try and make a start on getting these oats, the barley and the wheat in. We've got rain coming tomorrow. We need to get as much done as we can tonight. Yesterday we got the majority of the points on. Friday night we got the brand new Agmaster seeding kits on, which was only possible with thanks to our channel members and everybody watching the videos with the ad revenue. It didn't pay for much, but it's a start. One of these seeding kits, which is an N208 rigid seeding kit from Agmaster for the 753, is 210 bucks. YouTube paid for half of one kit. The rest came from my off-farm job. Still, it's a great big help. This is what it's all about when I'm talking about if you want to be a combine cropper or a rookie farmhand and monetary support us, it is a big help. It's not much right now, but a little goes a long way. So we got 5 of these seeding kits here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up the back. Then we've got most of the other points on here. They're what we're suspecting to be scarifier knife points that we pulled out of the shed in bull paddock. We did put some of the points that were on the combine last year back on the combine. Dad managed to put 2 on with some flash, not quite cuphead bolts that we got from Afgri. He managed to get them on. I can't get them off now though. We're on the way right out to the West End to go and test the sprayer. And I say test because the sprayer's got some issues. Well, not the sprayer itself, we think. Specifically, it's the Raven SDS 4400 screen. That controls the speed of the sprayer. It tracks the speed, it tracks all the boom calibration settings, and it is the thing that actually makes the sprayer operate. It's all well and good for us to unfold the sprayer and try and run it off the tractor's PDO shaft, but none of that really matters if that screen doesn't bloody work. We think we might have a solution with the self-speed test option, whatever that one is, but we're gonna find out. We did a bit of troubleshooting last night. Dad did troubleshooting this morning. Thought, oh yep, it's all good. The speed's working, the sprayer should function and actually put something out. He did a bunch of laps around the yard and then the sprayer's full. We can't leave the chemical in the tank. It's not like Farming Simulator where you could, because once the chemical's in the tank, you can't let it sit. Oh, look at that. Got another lot of twins there. Good job, Mum. You're doing really good. I'm really proud of my ewes so far. Well, I say that, they're Dad's ewes. They're doing really well. I haven't seen any dead ones yet. And hopefully it stays that way. Look at that, we're spraying! Yes! That's good! Look at that! Knockdown is going on. That means we have to put a crop in now because we're already killing off the feed in here. Now that we've got the sprayer going, it's time to tell you what exactly is going in Clark Road. I established in last week's video, at the time recording this, it's yet to go up. Last time I told you that we were going to be putting wheat, barley and oats in. The idea is the oats are going to go up the back there on that gravel hill towards northwest. That's where the oats and the barley were last year. The wheat is going to go in next. The Tomahawk is going to be on that section down along the road there. And the barley is going to be in the middle half. It's going to be a lot of fun and games to get everything up and going correctly. But once it's going, it's going. The Roundup takes 4 hours of direct sunlight to seep into the ground and start killing off all the weeds. That's the turnaround time where we mustn't have any heavy moisture in the form of rain, any heavy cloud cover. Time now, 12 past 12, meaning that by 4:12, we'd be able to get started on doing the first couple laps. Keep in mind, it could take up to an hour to spray the whole paddock because this is 80 hectares. You see, that's one of the frustrating yet also fantastic things about that sprayer too, is because it's 28 meters wide, it's not some ridiculous 40 meter or 36 meter boom. I know people seem to think that the sprayer's bigger than it is, but it's really not. It's only 28 meters. When you consider that we're trying to run our farm, but also have to go on off-farm work to continue to put food on the table while we're trying to make this farm work, until such a time as this farm is profitable, which at the moment it's not, but this crop could change that, provided the season's in our favour. That's the reason why we're trying to get the crop in the ground now, because if we try to plant in July again, yes, the crop will grow, but it won't yield very high. Right, final checks before we head out the paddock. We've got the combine hooked up to the tractor, and we are go. Right, let's jump on the gator and let's follow. So we've put some slightly different stoppers on, just because, well, the knife points need a completely different depth setting compared to the wing points that we had on. And that has a lot better depth to it this time round. Look at that. It's leaving some nice furrows. Still got some seed on top. I'm not sure if that's from the meter rollers or not. Hello gentlemen, we're planting your food. Please stand by while we do our cropping operation. Yeah, the rams are in there. I'm not sure where the rest of them are. Whoa. Lights are on. Well, some of them are. Straight on through, look at that. This gate's a keeper. Right, it's just on sunset now. Indy Sue, are you ready to go see the crop we put in for 2026? So the lights are only partially working on the tractor, as you can see. That's the side lights on the back of the cab and the hood lights. The top back cab lights currently do not work, and well, I hope the spotlight on the front of the tractor cab does work, because otherwise that's purely an ornament. But no, in all, the big crops are going to be 30 hectares of wheat, 30 hectares of barley, 20 hectares of oats. In all, that should be 80 hectares, which makes up Clark Road paddock.
I have to. Cut a piece of that off. Weld that onto that. Okay, around there. Sealed. You only want a small strip. We only need.
What'd it be about?
We only need. Oh, we'll go a bit longer.
That's a bit tight on the lip. Or is it loose?
Loose. If we cut that ring off and then put this fucking joiner over the top like that, instead of this ring joiner. Instead of that, we put that over this.
Cut it off as close as we can to the ring.
Cut a small bit off this. Yeah, that's going to work. And make sure that's going to clamp on that.
Yeah.
But if we go up onto this, what's this name? Oh, that's got a O-ring holding that, hose clamp holding that onto it.
Good morning and welcome to Monday. As Dad has just explained both to me and to you, because I've been filming, we're going to be doing some bush mechanics this morning. The creative, innovative type of bush mechanics. Yesterday, the Johnny tractor decided that it was going to break apart the bracket that holds the exhaust pipe manifold, which is this pipe here that then goes from that lip into that, and that's the exhaust cover, and then that's the actual exhaust stack of the tractor. The part that holds it onto the engine, it snapped going over a bump. So, I don't know, we may need to rebuild the tractor completely next year, which Dad took the exhaust pipe off this morning, brought it back to the shed, and while it's raining, we've got enough time to do some bush mechanics, try and fix the exhaust bracket that holds it onto the manifold, and so hopefully we'll have enough break in the gap by the time it's fixed to take it back out to Clark Road and stick it back on the tractor and hope it works. I'll catch up with you out there. I'll take the Terios.
Okay, to grab that.
So there goes Dad and the Uncle Ken down the road. We're gonna try and catch up with him out the paddock. Right, Dad's gonna set up the auto steer, and just in case something goes wrong, we're gonna follow him up to the other end of Clark Road paddock and we'll make a start. It's a beautiful day to go seeding. So when Dad did the pre-emerge spraying, we done most of the paddock. There are 1 or 2 passes with the sprayer, so maybe one stretch of 28 meters or so where there's no knockdown on it at all, and that's got to be where the oats are going in, at that north corner, right along the fence between this paddock and northwest where we had the crop last year. We have got a couple of ridges and potentially maybe a contour or 2 in this paddock as well. We'll see how we go. While the paddock may look like it's got green and it's got pasture, this pasture is all going to wilt up and die, meaning that we kind of have to put the crop in here now. How it's going to go, we'll all find out together. While we don't have the liquid cart on this time round, purely because we couldn't get liquid fertiliser in time for seeding, we still got the combine out here, and I'll get out of the way. And that is tines in the ground for the first time of seeding 2026 for our harvestable crop. We are going, ladies and gentlemen. So we're just having a look at the rows behind here. These first couple rows, they're the brand new Agmaster points that our channel members and also the off-farm job money went and paid for. So that one, that's the skipped one, that one, like the first 5 rows. You can see our seed depth. That's looking pretty good to me. Now, just like last year, because Clark Road and Northwest sort of share the same kind of gravel hill, that's gonna prove to be slightly an issue where the rocks are concerned. Hopefully it doesn't snap any points, because I didn't bring any out here with us this morning just for the opening round. So we should be at a shallower depth this year compared to last year, because last year Dad reckons we had the combine in the ground a bit too deep with the stoppers that we had on. That explains why the seed is a bit shallower this year. That one right there, I can see it. It's not quite going in the ground. Huh. They're all definitely opening it up. Except that one. That one is completely out of the ground. Middle row is out of the ground. Yep. Right, so row number 14 has decided to snap its bolt. The bolt was completely stripped earlier. We knew about it. We thought it would be all right. We just adjusted it back at the shed, but it seems not. Must have hit one of those rocks coming up the hill, and that completely just shattered the bolt, and now it's completely loose. We're just going to do one more run. I'm going to drive slowly behind the combine so that if it goes bang and comes completely off, I can pick it up and bring it home. And then we'll need to try and find another bolt to go and fix it. Not fun. Oh well, there's always something in farming, isn't there? Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. Today is game day. We need to get 12 hectares of oats in the ground, then swap to the wheat and the barley seed. The time now is 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and right now Dad's in the loader heading out to Clark Road paddock, and we're following shortly after him. We've got 16 mil in the rain gauge last night, which is a lot more than the weather apps said we would get. Maybe they need to have a weather station around here. Doesn't matter, let's head out the paddock and we'll see you at the tractor. Oh, look at that, fat bitch is still pregnant. Come on, we've had the break to the season and at least 3 days of rain so far in the past couple of weeks, and she's still fat as. She might be dropping quads yet. Dad's over the hill in the loader, leaving this unattended. You thinking what I'm thinking, Bindi? Okay. Right, it's fairly cold this morning. We've got to let the tractor warm up for about 5 or 10 or so minutes. Let the auto steer do its thing. And then we'll go join Dad over the other side where we have the oats. Righto, here we go. The GPS is doing its thing. The combine is lowered. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm officially sowing my own crop. Now we can see the combine at work. Those first couple of rows, those are my Agmaster points. So I can see them in action. That middle row looks like it's in the ground as well. So all 28 rows are sowing. Gravel rocks. Same with that hill up there. Bump it up to C2 at the moment. So that's our sowing speed, 8 kilometers an hour. We could try and push this up to 10, but I don't really want to, especially with the amount of rocks we got in here, and we've got to let Dad have a chance to clean it up. All right. Drop it down to C1 again. Going up this gravel hill. She's pulling hard. This is what my life's going to be like for the next couple of hours, perhaps days. So, we've successfully done an up pass, a back pass, and now we're doing another up pass. So, standard procedure, C1 when we're going over the rocks. I don't know why, that kind of looks like the remains of an old water trough. Up there, it's just some quartz rock. The reason why we go slow over the rocks is because if we go too fast, that's when shit hits the fan. When we go too fast through the rocks, it bounces off each other and it has a ricochet effect. Similar to like it's doing right now. You see how the tines are moving up, down, up, down, up, down all the time? If we go too fast, that's how stuff breaks. So, in a nice, smooth, sandy soil, yeah, we can bump the speed up. Just like now. See, there we go, 7.5, 7.9. Nice, smooth running. And then when we hit the rocks again, we slow down. We covered around 7 hectares yesterday, according to the auto steer. That's the painted stuff. There was a lot of trial and error involved in that. You can see that some of the lines weren't even painted at all. But the goal is to try and get the 20 hectares of oats done this morning. That's the reason why I'm in the tractor and Dad's in the loader, because Dad can then do whatever he needs to do in the loader to finish cleaning the paddock up in front of me. So that being taking care of rocks, any sticks and old animal bones that happen to be lying in the paddock still. And then while Bindi, Sue and I are in the tractor, we can cover more ground that way. And once Dad's done in the loader, well, it'll be time to fill up. The truck's got about 1.5 fill loads of seed left, which hopefully should get us through the entire 20 hectares. After which, Dad's gonna race the truck home while I'm finishing off the oats and put the wheat and barley out of the bulk bags through the auger and into the truck and bring it back out here. We've got roughly about 11.4 hectares on the hectare clock on the combine, and we did 7.2 yesterday with just Dad driving. So that's 8, 9, 10, 4 hectares we've covered just this morning between me and Bindi Sue. The tractor, for the most part, has behaved itself, so has the GPS. We did have one minor stuff up, a bit of wire that I'm completely blind to in the tractor cab. Went straight under there and tied itself around the back axle and the jack stand on the combine. Thankfully Dad had wire cutters in the loader and he was able to get me unstuck. And we're going again. So we just got this up and then turn around, come back again, and then it'll be time to fill in. This is the time of day where we're now mucking around with the radio to find something to listen to. And somehow we've picked up the Chinese radio. I don't know what that's all about. Found a good music station, but I've turned the volume right down for copyright reasons. The combine's nearly empty, so at the end of this run, we'll raise her up, turn the painting mode off on the GPS, and turn the fan assist off. Combine lifted, painting off. Turn the wheel, and fan assist turns off. Right, can't engage, error too great. That's all right. The GPS can be turned off for now, and we'll head back to the truck. Right, so a couple more hours have passed. I think it's almost 10:30, and so far we've covered about, oh well, the combine reckons we've covered 14 hectares. The auto steer reckons we've only covered 13.41 hectares. We're suspecting that we may be running out of room if we try to go for the full 20 hectares. So what we may do, we just go to 16 and then suck out the rest of the oats in the combine and in the truck and go put it in the bulker bag or something. Must be tine season or something. The points, which we thought we were going to lose, the points, they were fine. It's just we lost a whole freaking tine and I didn't realise until I started this run. Right, so after a lot of trial and error, we managed to get the tine off, bring it home, extract the snapped bolt inside the tine and put it back on, and now we're going again. The GPS unfortunately had to be turned off, so now it's got a slight overlap thing on that run back there. One of these on the starting runs back here. We really need to get a reefinator in here. Get this country reefinated. Otherwise the poor 753 is just going to be knocked to bits. Like you can hear right there in the sandy country, in the sandier soil types like we've got here, it's flowing beautifully. We've got nice even straight rows. It's just on the gravel that I've got to drop a gear and drop it from 8.2 down to 6.8k an hour. We were considering getting a contractor in to do the wheat and barley for us, just in case something else goes bang on the combine, because Dad's only got tomorrow off. That's the last day. Then he's got to go back to his feedlot job, and I got to go back to work tomorrow in the morning. These sight glasses are starting to run low. It looks like we just hit 16 hectares right there. So I'll text Dad and let him know, see what he thinks, because we were thinking of putting a full 20 hectares of oats in and then 30 of wheat, 30 of barley, but it looks like there may not be enough of the paddock to do all three. Really, we need to get the barley and the wheat out of the bulker bags. That is our priority here. Here we go. 15.98, 15.99. Come on, combine, up the hill. The combine's already saying 16.5 hectares. It's just got to survive this run, and then we'll fill in the headlands up at the top and come back, and that'll be the oats done, I reckon. Because then we've got to swap over to the wheat and the barley. So we've officially crossed the 1/3 mark. Dad did 7 hectares, I did the rest, so I beat him by a hectare. Not bad at all for an amateur farmer. Righto, so unfortunately our seeding with the combine anyway, has come to an abrupt end. As much as I would have loved to do what I initially planned, the seed boot setup on the combine is not great at the moment. The Agmaster seed kits are fantastic, absolutely. Let's get more of them next year. But with the stuff around with the tines and a lot of choice words about the machine, it's for a 40-year-old machine, the 753 is incredibly solid. And they did an excellent job building it. But like Dad said, facing facts, we've got to get a machine in to put the crop in the ground, and that's the main thing. We'll still be filming tomorrow. It's just, we'll have the contractor out here. And they're gonna have an air seeder set up, a 27-foot one. So only slightly bigger than the combine, but they can get the hectares done provided nothing goes wrong on their end. Hello, welcome to Wednesday afternoon / evening. We got the contractor out with a front wheel assist tractor and a Morris air seeder. Currently on Barley, and very shortly we're going to head out there and swap over to the Tomahawk wheat. Hasn't got the fan on. Uh-oh. Or does he? Right, he's got the fan on, Dad's coming back. And off she goes again. Righto, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take the SD card out of the GoPro, put it in the drone. Then you guys get to see the contractor's tractor seed barley in our paddock.
Yep. He must have had enough.
Just enough.
Bob.
So we can
Try not to go on what's bloody being wrecked. You can help it, even though we're going to have to. He might have enough to fill the whole lot in here.
Might do. Barbed wire henge is officially a paddock island. It's gonna be the first time.
See where I put the chook chip?
Yep.
Small patch of grey there.
Yeah. Poked out like a sore thumb in that white sand. So as much fun as it was to have our Johnny tractor and the combine, we need to face facts here. Yes, our farm is small compared to such large, broad-acre cropping farms. As much fun as it has been to work on the combine and learn how it runs and how they used to build these machines 40 years ago, and as much fun as it has been with the 7810, the plan always was we'd only run a couple years with just Little Green and Little Red, because I'm working off farm on a casual basis and Dad's working part-time off farm. We can't exactly afford to go for days and days and days and days and days and days, if you get what I mean. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but if we try to achieve that, what the Contractors MX Magnum and Morris Air Seeder behind us has done, they've achieved 30 hectares in a day, what would have taken us half a week to do with the combine. So, what do? What's the plan? This is what some people don't understand when they're saying, oh, your equipment's too big or too small or too in the middle, blah, 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 blah. Okay, listen up, armchair farmers. You don't know the full extent of the situation of what's happening on the ground right here. Myself, Mum and Dad do. This is our farm. You can give us suggestions and unnecessary feedback, but at the end of the day, we make the final decision. The combine is going to be staying around. We've always said that the combine is sort of perfect for Arran Vale when it comes to the tree paddocks, so like the hay crop. But for the more open paddocks like Clark Road and Northwest, something like that is what we need. Something like that with 285 horsepower that can run an air seeder. These are our two options we are currently thinking for next year. Option number one. All right, we get Ryan Tyne on the horn, order some new tines, and get Agmaster to deliver 30 brand new sowing boot kits for the 753, and then modify it for the liquid setup, and then put the liquid cart back with the combine and have the flashiest combine we've ever owned, and still go for days and days and days and days and days, maybe even a month for 120 hectares. Or option number two, we need to find a bigger tractor that can run the air seeder. Because the air seeder that Big Blue pulled, it's still sitting at home. Nobody's actually wanted to buy it or could buy it. So option B is we go hunting for a tractor that is large enough to tow a 40-foot air seeder and potentially later down the road run a plozer plow or a reefinator or something that we can use to renovate these paddocks. Okay, Dad and I, we were initially tossing up the idea of getting something like that MX Magnum over there. Front wheel assist, 200 to 300 horsepower, new beauty. It would run the combine and it could even take over sprayer duties from the 7810 easy. But all of the front wheel assists that are for sale right now, they're more expensive than a 2000s era four-wheel drive tractor like Big Blue was. So whatever we decide, well, we'll find out after seeding. So now the fun part. Morris air carts being Morris air carts.
Fuck me, I'm not strong enough.
You want me to try turning it? Like, how does that go?
He's got that on fucking tight. Oh, fuck.
Oh, out. You okay?
No.
This is all alien tech to me.
Oh.
I spent 2 years with a combine and I forget what the underside of an air seeder looks like.
Yeah, it's still trying to blow it down the fucking tubes. Should be good.
How the hell?
That was in the bottom of the... Oh, we got some oats.
Hey. Everything.
In the bottom of the bottom of the bags.
No, it was in the air seeder tank still.
Huh.
Fucking Yoda.
Oh, that's right, because they put 200 kilos of donated fertiliser in the ground for us.
Yeah, or 150, whatever. Yeah.
Nice to see Little Red's behaving himself today. There we go. That's a bit too far. I haven't been on the top of one of these in ages. Seed is going in that bin there, and I'm assuming that bin there would be fertiliser, but we haven't got any, so it's just into there. And there's the bag that made all of this happen. It's still at the bottom just like it did at the top. You know, despite Little Red Tractor having his bounciness, we wouldn't have sown a crop this year if it weren't for that bag they're unloading right now spilling because of 2 flimsy wooden pallets and a bouncy Little Red forklift tractor. So a lot of people and tractors made this crop right here happen tonight. So we're going to call it for this video here tonight. Thank you for watching. Special thanks to all of our YouTube and Patreon. Yes, I do have a Patreon now. I haven't posted anything on there. I should probably do something about that after seeding. Thanks to Duncan, to Mark, and to my combine cropper Simon, who have pledged a certain amount of dollars per month to help us. The combine croppers and the rookie farm hands, they are a certain amount of dollars per month. I think the combine cropper tier is only $10. The rookie farm hands and the combine croppers get their name at the end of every video from now on, and a shout out. I can't guarantee I'll do it at every single video if you join immediately, because these are recorded a couple of weeks in advance. But if you stick around long enough, you can help us achieve some very, very cool stuff on this farm going forward. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching. My name has been Noah, otherwise known as the Johnny Man. You have been my audience. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and as always, happy farming, people.